Predators hunt to live and live to hunt. Given that they are some of the most vicious cosmic hunters, well, maybe not vicious, but they're definitely some of the deadliest hunters out there, and it becomes imperative that hunting is a major part of their lives. Of course, they only hunt worthy prey that has the capacity to kill them back, which is why they're after beasts like xenomorphs and humans. However, they're big on hunting other species as well, species that not many know about because this kind of trophy hunting only takes place in the comics. But fear not, we're here with an extensive list of the 12 most dangerous species that the Predators have ever hunted. Let's hop right in, shall we?
Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
Human. The Predators live for the hunt, especially hunting those who can give them a run for their money. Yeah, what I mean is these guys actually go after creatures that can kill them back, and humans have shown an acumen for taking down the ugly bastards. Humans have managed to take down Predators more than a few times, and this has become a curse in disguise because instead of deterring them, we've become their favorite game. The lore from the Predator universe, be it movies, comics, or novels, Predators have always been thrill seekers, obsessed with proving their might and keeping their hunting skills sharp, and they've shown a will to learn from their prey. A glimpse into this mindset can be found in Dark Horse's 1989 comic Alien vs. Predator, where it's suggested that predators see themselves as the ultimate blend of technology and primal instinct. They use tech, but they aren't reliant on it. They're into proving they're still as badass without their gadgets, and often choose to go weapon-free in a fight. Well, who doesn't like to show off? The latest live-action movie, Prey, and the 2018 movie, The Predator, further dive into their culture. Prey shows a predator adapting its tactics based on what it's up against, and setting traps to engage in close combat. Additionally, the comic Predator No. 2 by Ed Brisson and Netho Diaz takes place on the Predator's favorite playground, or hunting ground for that matter, a game preserve planet, which you may know is a planet solely used for the purpose of the hunt. Here, the Predators bring humans and other aliens to hunt them down. From what we've seen in the comics and movies, a group of humans doesn't stand a chance against a single predator on a rampage. It's the lone wolves, like Dutch, Naru, and Theta from the comics, who manage to turn the tables and win against these intergalactic hunters. Now, these one-on-one fights prove to be a learning opportunity for the Predators. Each human's unique approach, born from Earth's diverse cultures and survival tactics, offers fresh insight. Even in a loss, the Predators are schooling themselves for next time, especially in a controlled environment like a game preserve planet. Aliens. Up until now, it was believed that predators hunted xenomorphs because it was their gateway into adulthood, a rite of passage or a coming-of-age ceremony. Predators like Scar have shown what it means and what it takes to kill a predator. However, Marvel's Alien comic reveals another reason why xenomorphs are always on the Predator's hit list. So, we know for a fact that these aliens are great survivors. It's what they do. They breed to survive and survive to breed. In Alien No. 10 by Philip Kennedy Johnson and Salvador Larroca, we meet a crew from Eurydice Moon that comes face to face with the Xenos. These folks have to ditch their digs and dodge the relentless biomechanical monsters, only to stumble into a Xeno egg mine of sorts. Heading inside wasn't exactly a bright idea, but curiosity won the day and they went hunting for survivors. Needless to say, they find 0 people alive but bump into a whole new kind of alien, which also gives us a peek into why predators can't get enough of hunting these creatures. So, what really happens is that predators drop xenomorphs on different planets to see what kind of horror show unfolds next when the facehuggers kiss native creatures from that planet. These xenomorphs keep adapting and picking up new tricks depending on the local buffet, which provides the predators with new challenges and new surprises, which keeps their hunt from going dull. And ultimately, it all boils down to their coming-of-age rituals. Engineers. In the Predator Fire and Stone saga, a predator named Ahab was on the ultimate hunt for the Engineers. Ahab gets wind of these elusive space gardeners through ancient cave drawings and old texts. Following this, he chased down a star map to LV-223, where he hoped to grab himself an Engineer trophy. Now, when Ahab squared off with the Engineer, the fight seemed to be pretty much a heavyweight title bout, but in space. The Engineer was on par with, if not tougher than our Predator. They even had a round 2, but it kinda ended in a draw. So basically, it's not about tech or who's got the biggest gun, it's primal. It's a clash of the titans showing off skills that'll have you on the edge of your seat. Now, if we're talking head-to-head Predator versus Engineer fight, it's not a clear-cut win for either side. Thanks to their top-shelf hunting gear, stealth moves, and that amazing plasma caster, Predators are no joke. They're strategic, strong, and masters of stealth. Engineers, on the other hand, are the brainiacs of the universe, creators of the xenomorphs, if we ignore what David did in Ridley Scott's later movies, and on top of that, the engineer tech is way out there. Additionally, they're huge, and even though we haven't seen them fighting a lot, we know that they're a force to reckon with. Apart from the Ahab incident, there are plenty of other instances where the Predators have tried to hunt engineers. First off, in Aliens vs. Predator Requiem, there's a space jockey skull on a Predator's trophy wall. Then there's Stalker Predator. He had a blink-and-you'll-miss-it moment in Predator 2, but he apparently has a knack for taking down engineers as well. At least, that's what the action figure lore has to tell us.
It's time.
Kryptonians. Now, this one might sound a bit strange, but Predators have actually fought the likes of Superman and almost managed to kill the Man of Tomorrow. But of course, the Predator didn't achieve the feat using only his brawn. In the 2000 comic book event titled Superman vs. Predator, we see the Man of Steel pitted against the fearsome alien. To even the odds, they struck Superman with a virus from the Predator's ship that drained Superman of his powers. Basically, Superman spends most of the series under the weather while the Predator goes toe-to-toe with some mercenaries. At the end of the day, when the Predator knows he's been beaten, he tries to take Superman down with him by triggering a self-destruct device. However, plot armor is often stronger than anything else, so Superman survives, of course, and ends up saving Earth from a global Predator invasion, of course. Then, after that, we also got JLA vs. Predator, where the entire Justice League goes up against these meta-predators, juiced up with alien steroids thanks to the genetic tinkering of a race of super advanced beings called the Dominators. In the comics, we get to see a Predator Flash and even a flying Predator Superman. Despite the initial shock and awe, our heroes, led by Superman, managed to defeat their Predator counterparts. Next up, in Superman and Batman vs. Aliens and Predator, Superman and the Dark Knight find themselves in this hidden Predator society in the Andes. Initially, fists fly, but in the end, they all join forces to defeat xenomorphs. So, essentially, Predators have been attacking Superman for ages, and it makes sense because they're constantly on the lookout for worthy prey. And who could be more worthy prey than Superman? But, now that Marvel has taken over the franchise, I'm afraid Predators won't be prowling in Metropolis or Gotham for a while, allowing the Caped Crusader and the Man of Steel to worry about one less thing. Mutants! Speaking of Marvel taking over the franchise, the latest comic book scrap a Predator had with a superhero was in the recently released comic titled Predator vs. Wolverine. The comic basically shows the battle between a Predator and our clawed friend across more than a century, during which time the Predator attacked Wolverine several times at several different places across the globe. In fact, a bunch of Predators duked it out with Wolverine and his old team, Team X. We've explored the 4 issues of this comic in 4 different videos, and I strongly suggest checking them out. They're an absolute blast. We'll leave you a link down in the description. Cybernetic organisms. When thinking about cybernetic organisms, Terminators are probably the first ones to pop up in your head. In their long list of powerful and worthy prey, the Predators did not shy away from getting into scuffles with Terminators. In a comic titled Alien vs. Predator vs. the Terminator, Skynet wakes up from a long nap, which was chronologically the time during which the events of Alien Resurrection were taking place. Skynet decides to jazz up its Terminator models with some xenomorph DNA, cause why not? As expected, chaos ensues with Ripley 8, the gang gets tangled up with the Predators, and a 4-way battle royale kicks off. Now, who would win in a Predator vs. Terminator scrap? The comic gives us a little taste. A Yautja, in his usual gear, goes up against a Terminator that, as I already mentioned, had a little bit of xenomorph flavor. The Predator attacks it with a plasma bolt and slashes at the Terminator, but once the cyborg gets handsy, it's game over for our Predator buddy. The Xeno Terminator rips off his arm, smashes his face, and boots him into space. Once again, Fortnite, of all places, made these 2 monsters fight each other. They added Predators, Terminators, and even Ellen Ripley into the mix. So if you were gaming in 2021, you could have your Predator hunting down T-800s, which is as wild as it sounds. Apart from comics and games, NECA's Rogue Space Tribe figures also have something along these lines. These exiled mercenary Predators had all kinds of Terminator trophies. We're talking Terminator skulls, crotch plates, and T-800 fingers and fashion accessories. In fact, the Space Tribe was known to hunt other cybernetic beings as well. Additionally, the comics have had a few instances where predators have gone after synthetics created by Weyland-Yutani. Tetra brachial humanoids. In Predator Fire and Stone No. 2 by Joshua Williamson and Chris Mooneyham, the Predators hit the jackpot, or so they thought, when they stumbled upon the tetrabrachial humanoids on planet UE-753 in the Caos Borealis system. These four-armed, red-skinned beings were living their best Bronze Age life, complete with a rich tribal culture and all of that stuff. Yeah, I get it, why are aliens living like humans used to live in the past? Well, some people might call it lazy writing. Not me, per se, but some people might. Anyways, these aliens were tough little birds who didn't crack under pressure and matched the Predators blow for blow. Despite some pretty basic gear, they put up a fight that had the Yautja sweating bullets. So, the Predators did bite off more than they could chew. Additionally, the cave paintings of the tetrabrachial humanoids shouted engineers all over, which was another reason why the Predators wanted to hunt them down. Was it possible that the engineers had played the life-seeding game even on UE-753? Or did the tetrabrachial humanoids just worship engineers for who they were? You know, we often worship and fear what we can't control. They say cultures worship things like fire, rivers, etc. for the same sorts of reasons.
Shoot already!
River ghosts. River ghosts were spacefaring creatures that ended up as prey in the Super Predators game preserve planet from the 2010 movie, a fate that several humans also had to suffer. These beings got the rather unfortunate thrill of being hunted on the game preserve planet because they ticked off some boxes for the Predators. I believe their essentially slick movement made them rather a threat, and the Super Predators thought these creatures could be a great challenge. Royce and his human squad bump into one while trying to survive the planet. This river ghost went straight for Edwin, aiming to take him out until Nolan shot it. River ghosts are essentially humanoid, but they're covered in these pale, bug-like shells, which cover them from head to toe. They also have deep spots where you'd expect eyes, but nope, nothing there. Then there's this weird sensory organ on their forehead, hidden under a bone flap. Their mouths are gapped out with teeth sticking out like some sort of alien comb. Plus their hands are long with creepy claws and odd bony flaps on their backs that could be mistaken for wings. Intriguingly, they also have some sort of parasitic bug pals living on their skin. In the comics, the river ghosts have shown the ability to rip apart predators with their bare hands, which naturally makes them quite the prey. They also appeared in the third issue of the Predator comics by Ed Brisson and Netho Diaz. Amangi. The Amangi were spacefaring parasites who basically wrecked their own backyard chasing after technological advancements without thinking twice about saving any of their natural resources. Once they turned their planet into a dumpster fire, they hit the road, or, well, the cosmos, looking for fresh places to crash. Yautja Prime, aka the Predator homeworld, was just one stop on their intergalactic tour. Introduced in that not-so-great 2006 Predator novel, Forever Midnight by Steve Johnson, these guys are described as giant cockroaches in highly advanced tech gear. They have a dual-lobed head encased in a glass bubble filled with green gas, kept fresh by tanks strapped to their backs. Originally winged, they sacrificed the ability to fly for a life support bubble, which helped them handle the harsh environment of new planets. The Amangi soon took over the Hish Q-10, the ancestors of the Predators, and started ruling the Hish. They even went a bit far when they started eating their subjects and pitting them against each other in gladiatorial battles. But the Amangi didn't stop there. They went full mad scientist mode when they tweaked the Hish's DNA to make them into even more lethal creatures. This was their idea of leveling up the entertainment, turning the Hish into super predators before our modern predators even existed. Through all this, the Hish were under the Amangi's control, but they were being pumped with chemicals and bred for battle, and the Amangi did not realize the gravity of what they were doing. Eventually, a Hish named Ka'il rose from the midst of the oppressed and led a horrifically violent rebellion. It was Ka'il who first decapitated an Amangi and took its head as a trophy. So that's basically the origin of the whole trophy hunting thing. Tribals from planet XI 4432-8. In the run-up to Marvel's Predator series by Ed Brisson and Kev Walker, we know that Theta Berwick leads the charge as a major Yautja killer. This top-tier predator hunter has an age-old vendetta and seeks her revenge against a species that left her an orphan when she was just a child. Her journey to hunt down a specific Yautja takes her across the galaxy, and she lands on the chilly planet XI 4432-8. This place, home to some unique purple-skinned aliens with big oval noggins, is no stranger to predator visits, which made the locals pretty doubtful and cautious about outsiders. They dressed minimally due to their adaptation to the cold. Despite Theta being on their side against the predators, her presence spooked them enough to attack her. Interestingly, these aliens had this badass organic weapon that could do wonders. Well, kinda. But what I'm really saying is that the tribals from planet XI 4432-8 were survivors, yes, but they were also formidable warriors in their own right. Probably explains why the predators found them such appealing targets. Animals. Now, predators have fought many a battle against wild animals from Earth, usually with the goal of self-defense. So if they're fighting and killing animals, it's not really for honor. However, let's check out a few of the earthly beasts that predators have fought. Bears versus predators. These encounters can get pretty gnarly. In Predator Primal, a Yautja took on Alaskan grizzlies and ended up losing its shoulder cannon to a bear's bite before deciding to self-destruct rather than face defeat. Then, there's the Ancient Predator, who, after taking out some rogue Yautja, decided to hunt bears as a side quest. Predator Turnabout tells us another tale of a Yautja hunting grizzlies, only to be outsmarted by a human sniper. And in Prey, the Feral Predator kills another big grizzly. Wolf versus Predator. The Feral Predator didn't stop at just bears, it also clashed with a wolf, and ended up with a trophy for its collection as a result. Lions versus Predator. In the deserts of New Mexico, a predator found itself in a scrap with a mountain lion, hinting at a spiritual connection with a local seeking vengeance. In a story called Predator, No Beast So Fierce, a predator fights against a lion. Crocs versus Predator. These encounters seem more by accident than by choice. Whether it's getting ambushed in an African swamp or facing off against a croc named Pol Pot, predators have had their share of challenges and close calls with these ancient reptiles. Snakes, hyenas, and more versus Predator. From defending against an anaconda's grip to fending off a pack of hyenas after a crocodile encounter, predators have faced a wide variety of Earth's wildlife. They've even hunted giant centipedes and squared off against a giant squid underwater. But, as I mentioned, they don't really hunt animals for honor, preferring a more intelligent prey. Duath. The Duath were a race of ancient aliens who excelled technologically. In fact, they were way beyond what anyone else in the Milky Way was working on. Even the Yautja were kind of spooked by them, and of course for all the right reasons. In fact, the Duath were so potent that they used xenomorphs as some kind of cosmic pets or something. But what's their history? So, before humans were even a blip on the cosmic radar, the Duath were spreading their wings around space. But then they just up and left the galaxy for a new adventure somewhere far away, and all that was left in their wake were rumors and fear. In 2159, some humans bumped into a Duath shipwreck on LV-178, which was pretty much entirely a xenomorph hive by then. The ship looked like it got blasted trying to escape and crashed right next to a Duath ghost town. Furthermore, it seemed like they built a wall to keep the Xenos out, but it didn't work. Years later, the ruins were rediscovered by the Weyland-Yutani Corps. Even the Yautja got into the fray and started hunting the Duath. Unfortunately, the Duath are a rather obscure species, so not a lot is known about them. So that's all the pertinent predator facts we've got for this video, but if you know us, I'd suggest sticking around because you know we're big on AVP content. If you reached this point in the video, thanks for watching, stay safe out there, and have a marvelous day.